Good day, Crime Talk aficionados. This is Scott Reisch from Crime Talk, and thank you for watching. A short docket today, but hopefully informative. First on the docket, Gannon Stauch case update. Who leaked the arrest affidavit? Second, Evelyn Boswell case update. Slow but sure is what the sheriff says. And finally, our dumb criminal contestant of the day. Let's talk about it. Good day, Crime Talk aficionados. This is Scott Reisch from Crime Talk, and thank you for watching. We know you have lots of things that you can do. The fact that you take the time to watch us is greatly appreciated and does not go unnoticed. I assure you of that. If you haven't already done so, we'd ask that you hit that subscribe button, hit that little bell so that you receive notifications of when we put up new content, and as always, leave us a comment below. First on the docket, a paralegal is suspected of leaking the affidavit in the Letecia Stauch murder case. And as like in all criminal cases, she faces the potential of jail time. So Sherry Farstveit is a 53-year-old woman, and she is employed as a paralegal at the Brighton City Attorney's Office. And now she's facing misdemeanor charges for allegedly leaking an affidavit in the Letecia Stauch case. And for those of you who do not know, Stauch is 36, and she's accused of murdering her stepson, Gannon Stauch, in late January and hiding his body, then reporting him missing as a runaway to misdirect law enforcement. She was ultimately arrested in March, and then 5 weeks to the day that authorities say that the 11-year-old boy was killed, the arrest papers were leaked early in April. Needless to say, this did not make the district attorney happy at all. And the reason why they're upset is the fact that they say that they completely appreciate the public's right to know, but that they hadn't talked to Gannon's parents yet, and therefore the information was leaked to the public, and they read about it, and Gannon's parents read about it the same time as everyone else did. I certainly feel somewhat sympathetic to the district attorney's position. If you were a family member, you'd like to have that conversation. But the district attorney knew that Letecia Stauch was, in fact, being extradited back from South Carolina. And so why did the district attorney not talk with them beforehand to prevent this? Now, I'm also a big advocate of the public's right to know. And as soon as Ms. Stauch had been arrested, or at a minimum made her first court appearance, that information should have been released. So as soon as Letecia Stauch was arrested, that information should have been made available to the public at a minimum at her first appearance. The district attorney made it seem to sound like there was some sort of agreement or cooperation amongst the court and the district attorney to keep that affidavit for arrest sealed. I get it. No defense attorney likes to have that information out there, particularly on a high-profile case, but the reality of it is the public does have a right to know. That's what makes a free society free and not one where only the chosen few really know what's going on. We don't operate that way here in the United States, and it shouldn't be that way in the court system. Unfortunately, they're making it more and more difficult for the public to have complete and unfettered access to this information. Although the Brighton Police Department and the city attorney's office, it's exactly unclear why Ms. Farstveit would have access to this affidavit for the arrest warrant. She's alleged to have been the one who actually released it. Now, the question is going to become, did somebody else help her with that? Really, it's no harm, no foul, because in the following day from when this was released on the internet to the world, the court unsealed the affidavit for the arrest warrant. Now, certainly, as a court employee, you can't go around doing things that you're not authorized to do. She's on paid leave. We'll see if she ultimately loses her job and what, if anything, she has to say about that information. The district attorney did state that he did not believe that the early release harmed their investigation whatsoever. Let me know what you think. Do you think that Miss Sherry Farfstreet should be punished harshly, basically for the district attorney not being able to speak to Gannon's parents first? Because that's really why they're prosecuting the information. And I am sympathetic to that. But for them to play games for not releasing it, which was normally routine in the course and order of business, I'm mixed on this one. The public has a right to know. Next on the docket, an Evelyn Boswell update. Captain Joey Strickler of the Sullivan County Sheriff's Office has told the press that they have identified a person of interest in their investigation in relation to the death of Evelyn Boswell. Captain Strickler would not give an identity of anyone who, in fact, is that person of interest. However, the potential list of people seems rather small as to whom it could be. Now, according to Captain Strickler, no one called the sheriff's office on March 6th that led them to the specific place of the Muddy Creek Road where Evelyn's remains were ultimately found. According to Strickler, the police were following up on a previous lead and began searching the area where they found Evelyn's remains in a shed, which just coincidentally happened to be on the same property as Megan Boswell's grandmother. Now, in what has to be one of the longest waits for autopsy results, Captain Strickler says they are in fact still waiting for autopsy results in this particular case. They say that they are continuing to follow all leads, and they have yet to have an interview with Evelyn's mother, Megan Boswell, since the remains had in fact been found. Very unlikely that she would give a statement, as she is still in custody and has an attorney, and it seems unlikely that any attorney would allow the police to interview her in light of the fact that she's being charged with giving false statements to the police as it relates to the disappearance of Evelyn. In a statement by Captain Strickler, which is contrary to what previous representatives from the Sullivan County Sheriff have said, Captain Strickler says that the COVID-19 pandemic has not slowed their investigation down at all. Now, as you may recall, we reported weeks ago that they said that they were still investigating, but the fact that the officers had to engage in social distancing or work from home had in fact slowed their investigation down. Captain Strickler is actually saying now that he's glad that the investigation is going slowly because they want to make sure they don't make any mistakes. Captain Strickler also went on to state, like we've already thought, was that Evelyn never actually made it to Virginia or North Carolina with her grandmother. So according to the Sullivan County Sheriff's Department, specifically Captain Strickler, he says there are at least 2 to 3 detectives working on this case, as well as 1 to 2 detectives at any given time from the Tennessee Bureau of Investigation. And since there were some 900 leads that came from the Amber Alert, the good sheriff is stating that it could take some time to go through all of them. So it's not going to take a rocket scientist for someone to figure out that Evelyn never made it to North Carolina, that the last people actually to see Evelyn was her mother, Megan, the grandmother, Angela, as well as possibly the great-grandmother where the body was found on the property. We know that the boyfriend with Angela is not exactly a upstanding member of the community, and he is certainly a person of interest. Now, all of these people are obviously given the presumption of innocence, and at the pace of the Sullivan County Sheriff's Office, they may have already served their sentences on the charges that are keeping them pending in custody right now. So perhaps once things are kind of back to normal here, the Sullivan County Sheriff's Office will get things rolling. We know the district attorney has to bring in a grand jury, and that will present some delay, as in lots of jurisdictions, there are social distancing requirements that are not allowing jurors and grand jurors to assemble. I can tell you specifically here in Colorado, our chief judge from the Colorado Supreme Court, Justice Coates, actually extended no jury trials until after the 4th of July, which is great if you're out of custody and you want to drag your case along. However, if you're in custody and you want to move things along in your matter, you can't get a jury trial. And if you can complain that it's beyond the speedy trial rights, you get to appeal to the same people that made the rule, saying that we'll just declare a mistrial because we can have no juries, since we made the rule to say that we can have no juries. But hopefully things will run a little smoother in Tennessee. Let me know what you think. Do you believe that the Sullivan County Sheriff's Office and the Tennessee Bureau of Investigation is moving methodically, or are they taking their time? I've seen results from autopsies or labs be rushed through in record time when they want to. And perhaps you can say some of the delay has to do with the COVID-19 pandemic. However, when you're in a lab, you can exercise a lot of social distancing by working alone. We'll see. Let me know what you think. Do you think an indictment will ever come down charging anyone with the death of Evelyn? Let me know. Next on the docket, our dumb criminal contestant of the day. And our dumb criminal contestant of the day, and although he's always given the presumption of innocence, you can't be given the presumption of smart. Well, Derry West, 61, was being pulled over for a simple traffic stop. It was about 11:15 in the evening, and he was pulled over for failing to have lights illuminated on his license plate. Yet again, one of those gateway crimes that cannot go unpunished, so let's pull people over. Let's face it, do police really care about the lights illuminating your license plate? Not really, okay? They're clearly looking for something else. But they use that as a pretextual reason to pull people over all the time. Anyway, as Mr. West was being pulled over and unaware that the police officers were approaching from both sides of his car, the officer on the passenger side of his car was hit by a small object being thrown out the window. Well, that small object struck the officer in the face and then fell to the ground. The object turned out to be a crack pipe. Now, once Mr. West was in fact arrested, he claimed that the pipe was left in the truck by a friend, and he was arrested and booked into the county jail and ultimately released on a $2,500 bond. Mr. West was charged with tampering with evidence, which is in fact a felony, possession of drug paraphernalia, which is a misdemeanor, and in most states, like it is here in Colorado, that's about a $100 fine. He's pleaded not guilty and will appear back in court on July 8th. I understand, Mr. West, that you didn't know exactly why the police were pulling you over for this terrible crime of not having your license plate illuminated. However, if you're going to be pulled over and you're driving dirty, you've got drugs in the car, you've got paraphernalia in the car, you got to play it cool, all right? Panicking and throwing things out the window, not good. Guess what? The police are watching, and there's usually more than one. And in this particular case, you hit the officer in the face with a crack pipe. Not a good way to start an encounter with the police. So, Mr. West, for your panic and inability to think clearly, you are a dumb criminal contestant of the day. If Mr. West actually wins the dumb criminal contestant of the week, he will be entitled to a free Crime Talk mug that I will send to him at no cost to him. Now, if you all would like to have some Crime Talk merchandise, no one's saying you have to buy it, but if you'd like to, there's a link below. We love it when you buy that merchandise, okay? Send me a picture and we will put it up on our Instagram. We'll put it on our Facebook, and you can have your Crime Talk mugshot put up while you're holding your Crime Talk mug or your Crime Talk gear. Additionally, don't forget to sign up for our free newsletter by going to ScottReisch.com and receive our free newsletter. It doesn't cost anything. We don't send you emails other than once a week. We don't spam you with advertisements or anything. It's just other news that we think that you may find interesting and enjoyable. And if you really like Crime Talk, you could sign up for our Patreon. And we're going to try to do a little thing on Patreon where if you are signed up for Patreon, we'll have kind of a mailbag or at least just a one-on-one where we can sit and talk to the people about cases that we've talked about or any questions that they have about the legal procedure in any type of criminal case. We hope to start that within the next week. So if you're going to sign up, now is a good time. Plus, you get all that cool stuff from us just for signing up. Thanks for watching. Leave me a comment below. Do you think the DA was correct in going after the paralegal who released the affidavit? Do you think the sheriffs in Sullivan County are moving a little slow in the Evelyn Boswell matter? Just let me know what you would like to see more of on Crime Talk. Thanks for watching. Have a great day, and we will see you tomorrow.